Here's a rule of thumb. You don't play games and things that are extremely serious in life. If you get those things down right, you don't have to worry about anything else. If you take the certain core things and you just focus on them and get them right. The first one is your iman and your aqidah and the people you surround yourself with. The second one is your family life. You gotta make sure that family life, everyone is happy in that family life. And one of the, I can't remember where I was reading, I think it was Sheikh Yahya wrote this at the wedding, right? The wedding. Yeah, he said, Imam Malik said, the intelligent one, I believe he said, the real man is the one who makes himself the most lovable person in his house.
Was it Chuck's walima?
You can make yourself lovable. The Prophet ﷺ said, give gifts, sensitivity also. Not talking about things you know is going to hurt them. Not laughing at things you know is going to hurt them. Like oftentimes some guys laugh about this. Oh, I'm going to take a second wife. Like you're hurting somebody. You may think it's funny and you say, I'm not, oh, just a joke, but it's a sensitivity, right? Sensitivity is one way to earn a lot of love in your family. Generosity, forgiveness, and ultimately you got to give away a lot of time. There's an article in the New York Times. The curse of the new generation is the amount of success they have at their hands. They have so many opportunities. There's no room for kids. And in some cases, so much success. There's no room for a spouse. No room for marriage. Some people are so good at school. They go on from school to medical school. They're so good and they get offered all the fellowships and they get all the way up to, the highest levels in their field because they're so smart. But there is such a thing as too much of a good thing because now those offers are almost too good to refuse. But the moment you accept it, you're actually refusing marriage. And that's what happens. And then what happens when you invest in those and you're 40 years old and you're not married? Are you even marriageable? Honestly, your first marriage is going to be a dry run that's a disaster. You're going to have to learn all the lessons. Hit age 40, you're stuck in your ways. Do you know how much hassle that just a baby is going to cause to you? And you may feel like, I can't take my foot off the pedal. I got to keep going. But the baby's going to take away a lot of your time. You have to make a choice. I'm telling you, get things right in your homes, in your deen first. In your deen. Pick someone who agrees with your deen. Yeah. I'll tell you where deen doesn't matter, where neither of them care. But if both of them care, they need to be on the right opinion, in the same opinion. Otherwise, in anything, like if you're both political people, you can't be opposed. You care so much about certain views, you have to have the same views, right? Certain things, my theory, certain things in marriage have to be the same view, and certain things should be opposite. The same view should be in the core things. The opposite view should be in temperament, like I rush and she thinks, right? Yeah. Like that, temperament. Those things, you make a perfect pair, and both, and your kids also get to see the spectrum. But main views, religious views, whatever you care about, have to be the same. You got to be in agreement on this, right? Or else you're going to have a clash. You get that, your deen right. And when you guys get married, you got to know what to put ahead of of marriage. Is only deen. That's it. Nothing else should be ahead of it. Career should not be ahead of it. Parents, in a sense, to an area where if it's not taken away from someone else's rights, that's their condition. So, for example, a dad cannot say to his son, I need you to come and join me. We're going on a trip. Oh, but my kids need me here. Don't worry about that. Come. Or a dad cannot say, I need you to divorce this guy. He's a bum, complete bum. Divorce this guy. Or he says to the son, you need to divorce this woman. Or usually it's the mother tells her son, get rid of this woman. There's rights for other people. So you need to be with them, provided that it doesn't aggress upon someone else's rights. Your job with your family, with your parents, is, as Allah says, when they reach old age with you. So a man will be responsible for his mother, father, and in the absence of a son, for his in-laws, then his in-laws too.
Also, Sheikh, on this thing, you notice that a lot of people in marriages, the reason it doesn't work out is because they don't have the same playbook.
They don't have the same playbook.
That's why you need to both be on the same page. You need to have, okay, when we have a disagreement, where do we go back to? Yeah. That's what you see in the modern day and age, right? You have this person's operating on this framework, and the husband's on a different framework. So when they disagree, it's like, how do you solve a problem?
You have to have the same usul, meaning when there is a question in life, where do we go back to? Right? The questions about life, question about right and wrong. Like, what's our resource? We don't have to know the answers, but we have to know the resource. Like, this is the law book right here. If when there's a dispute about right and wrong, this is where we go. And then there's something that's not going to be in the law book. Like, which school are we going to go to is not going to be in the deen. Which specific thing are we going to do? Which home are we going to get? Which neighbors are we going to choose to live next to? All those types of things. So now you need a methodology. And I'm telling you, the best methodology is one of the heart, which is sensitivity to the person in front of you. Care more about that of others than yourself, right? If you always care about yourself, that's the abode of business. That's the abode of the marketplace. That's the state to be in the marketplace. When I go to the marketplace, I'm not going to do charity. When you go put your resume out to interview at a job, it's not charity to say, you know what, I'm going to scratch the interview, you take the job. No one does that, right? That's why the contracts in Islam are mabni ala shuh or mabni ala mukarama. Mabni ala shuh, I'm coming for myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing immoral about that. Nothing un-Islamic about that. Mabni ala mukarama is we're coming together on a deal, but I'm willing to forego most of what's mine, but I'm going to give you extra. That's what our shuyukh taught us. Sheikh Mahmoud Shabib teaches this in Bab al-Nikah, and he says aqdun mabni ala al-mukarama, right? And that's what's most important. So it's not just about what is my rights. You're going to get your rights, but you're not going to be happy. There's a big difference in getting your rights and being happy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised the Arabian Peninsula that he will fill them, because of the dua of Ibrahim, he will overflow them with resources. Do they have the resources or not? Yes. Are they happy or not? Are they successful or not? They're not successful, right? Yeah, they're successful in having resources, but is it an improvement to their deen and the ummah? No, it's not. So there's one thing about getting your rights, there's another thing about being happy. And being happy in your home, it's all about being selfless. The main things in life are your faith, your family, and your finances. If you get these things and you treat them right with Allah Ta'ala, you'll be safe with everything else. You don't have to worry about anything else after that. Your iman and your aqidah, your marriage and your household and your family, and then your finances. That could mess a person's life up. Gotta have a way of earning, right? And you gotta give it time every day. I'm telling you, the way